Alright, we're almost done with our add any other maybe sound effects that we might want. So I've got this little tiny sound effect about, let's see, news and gospel.
I'm your host, Jonathan.
Let's see, I gotta figure out where it is. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to mute other things. And by muting these, what I can do is just listen to this.
I'm your host, Jonathan. Today we've got loads of news and gossip and of
gossip. I don't actually say that right, but I'll just say news and gossip, and that's where I want that little sound effect to come in just for a second. So when I say that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom up right there.
And gossip and of news and gossip and
so I say news about right there.
News and
so that's where I want that sound to kind of come in. I'm just going to fade it in just a little bit of that point, and then I'm going to kind of fade it out real quick too. So it'll kind of fade out like that.
Got loads of news.
Let's check that out.
Got loads of news and gossip and of course lots of news.
So I'll fade it out slowly. Let's see.
Loads of news and gossip and of course lots of new songs and great music for you.
Okay, now I can turn back that on and let's see how that sounds.
Got loads of news and gossip and of course lots of new songs and great music for you.
Alright, now the last thing that I might want to do is adjust different levels of things. Like this voiceover is just a little bit under, so I'm just going to add a little bit to it. I'm going to take it up like +6. So that'll go up to about 6. And I'm going to take the music down just a little bit as well. And that sound effect I want down a little bit. Now, I'm not doing this as an exact science because I am honestly not a professional audio editor for broadcast or anything like that. I'm just doing this for exploring the tools in Audition. But let's take a look.
Hey, we've got
or take a listen.
Loads of news and gossip and of course lots of new songs and great music for you. Let's start up with a new song by Sting.
So that actually can come up to, I'd say, -3, and let's take that back up to just 3.
Got loads of news and gossip and of course lots of new songs and great music for you. Let's start up with a new song by Sting.
And let's see where that level gets when we start singing. So that really looks about the right balance. So when I come back in here,
great new song by Sting. That one's gonna be a classic.
And it's all about in the same level.
Did you hear that Taylor Swift has a new song too? Well, here it is.
So pretty good levels. So you do have to adjust things just slightly sometimes just to get them to work really well. And of course, the last thing that we're going to probably do is copy this to the end so we can just have our little sound effect. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to make the I-beam go to the end and just do Control V. So that was Control C and Control V. And then I can just go ahead and trim that just to the end of that. Boom. I'm just going to have that kind of fade in real quick and see what happens.
Buddy's favorite, Michael Jackson.
And so there's my little tag at the end. And so we've now successfully completed a multi-track edit where we've recorded our audio, brought in sound effects from externally, set them all to the same, sampling rate. And last thing that we need to do is save out our final audio. So we're going to go to File and Save and just save everything. Make sure that we have that session saved. Yep, I'm going to overwrite it. Doesn't really matter. And I'm going to go File, Export. And this export is where we do a multi-track mix down of the entire session. So now I'm going to go ahead and put that in the same folder. I know that's there, so there's that tutorial. And I'm going to do it right there in the main folder. And let's see, it's going to be an MP3 audio file. That's fine because that's the format that we usually use to share. And I'm going to just take a look at this sampling rate. So that's going to stay the same. So that's going to be at 48,000. And we're going to do 16-bit on this instead of 24. We'll just take down a little bit of the quality, but I doubt people will really notice. The next thing I'm going to do is change my format settings. And the reason that we do this is because it might be required that we use a certain output. For example, maybe they want 192 kilobytes per second, or in the case of my classes, I'm using 128 just because it makes the files a little bit smaller. Now, constant bit rate will put out 128 kilobytes per second, of course, throughout the entire audio. Instead, if you wanted to use variable bitrate, then what you could do is choose a different quality setting, and this might go up and down depending upon how complicated your audio is. I'm going to go ahead and keep it at the constant bitrate. I'd say 128 is not the highest quality, but it'll work for this. So let's go ahead and export that, and there you go. We've now exported that, and now we can close this and exit it and take a look, and this is what we've created. We first have our audio assets that we created our voiceover, and we didn't do it in the tutorial, but I got some sound effects and some music to add in there. We changed it all to the same sampling rate. Then we saved out a session file, and be aware that there's just that one file, and if you were to lose that one file, obviously that would be bad in Audition because you would lose your editing timeline. And then here is our mix down. So that's it. Show you 80s with Madonna, Prince, and everybody's favorite Michael Jackson. So it's kind of a cheesy little audio program, but at least it gives you an idea about how Adobe Audition works and how to do multi-track editing. Leave comments in the stuff below if you like, but thanks for taking the time to learn about using Adobe Audition. Bye-bye.